it's happened. The masses have finally turned against Frozen, and all it took was this numbingly long short, I say short very much in quotes, that ran before an amazing movie, Coco. Okay, so years from now, some of you might not even know what I'm talking about. You might just be like, well, this is just a cute little short with Olaf, what's the big deal? Well, Olaf's Frozen adventure has kind of a weird checkered history. Which you might be thinking, why this? Something that's based around one of Disney's biggest moneymakers and still really, really popular. The story centers around Olaf, who's experiencing his first Christmas. Yeah, it's kind of weird when you think about it. Frozen is very much associated with Christmas, yet there's never any talk of Christmas, so I guess it kind of makes sense to do something like this. But Olaf doesn't understand Christmas and what it means to celebrate it. It looks like Elsa and Anna don't really know how to celebrate it either because they never really had any tradition. They were kept separate, they never really saw each other, they had a pretty awkward childhood. Elsa particularly feels bummed out about this, so Olaf decides he's gonna go and find out what it means to have a holiday tradition. He comes across all sorts of different varieties of people and different traditions and different ways of celebrating, and decides he wants to take something special from each tradition to bring back to Elsa and Anna. As you would imagine though, things go wrong, Olaf gets lost, all sorts of hijinks happen, and Anna and Elsa have to go find him. Sounds innocent enough. I mean, this wasn't the first of these shorts we've gotten. We've gotten one with Tangle before, and we've even gotten one with Frozen before, and they were both big hits, especially the Frozen one. But people turned pretty fast on this short, even to a point where they had to actually take it off the opening of Coco. There was that much backlash. Man, there was already people kind of getting sick of Frozen, but to actually have it taken off a Disney property? That's crazy! So, what went wrong? Well, the big thing is the running time. We're used to seeing shorts now before a Disney property. It was kind of started with Pixar bringing them back. And like I said, sometimes they were part of the selling point. I mean, the Frozen short that came out before this was a big hit. You saw girls dressing up in the new outfits that they made for that. They seemed to love it. But again, they were kept to the appropriate time. I'll admit, at about the 12-minute mark, I was looking at my watch saying, are we in the right movie? Shorts are supposed to be short, right? Like, this is a full episode of something you'd see on TV. And it turns out kids and parents were doing the exact same thing. They were wondering if they had the right movie theater. Maybe they walked in on the wrong one. I mean, yeah, they did advertise this before Coco, but people were going to see Coco. And having to wait longer and longer to see the film you paid good money to see was getting on people's nerves. In fact, if they wanted to come back and see Coco again, they realized they'd have to wait 20 minutes before they could see that flick. So people started to get really off. They started to say, the short was terrible, the songs were terrible, we're sick of Frozen, this has gotta stop, knock it off! And while I'm sure there's some people that would watch this and probably not like it on its own, I feel like majority would probably see this on a DVD or on the Disney Channel or whatever and think it's fine. It's still well animated, the songs are good, it has a good lesson. Like I said, if you show this on its own, people probably wouldn't have a problem with it. But it wasn't shown on its own. It was shown before a big movie that everyone was saying you gotta go see, and on top of the advertisements for the movie theaters, advertisements for other films, advertisements to turn your phone off, you know all the that happens before movies, you now also have to sit through a 21-minute short before you can get to your flick. Yeah, it's very understandable why people would get angry at this. But once they took it off of Coco and just released it as its own thing, kids seem to like it fine. I even talk to people who have kids and see it on DVD, showing it to them, and they're like, this is fine, why do people not like it? And I have to explain the story about it running before Coco. So I guess the initial idea behind this review is to say, this is a perfectly fine short. The songs are catchy, it looks very pretty, it gets its point across, it has a few laughs here or there, it's just the right amount of charming. But obviously, you have to know your audience. The audience that wants to see Coco wants to see Coco. So I guess what I'm saying is if you enjoy Frozen and you enjoy that other Frozen short that came out a while ago, check this out. It's actually perfectly fine. I feel bad because it got a lot of hate and I'm sure the people that worked really hard on this were getting bawled out like, yeah, the short is bad, we shouldn't have made it, but it really isn't. It's nothing fantastic or groundbreaking, but it is what it is. It's a cute little short in the Frozen universe that has a nice little message, and it looks nice and sounds nice, and it's a nice little thing for kids. If you're not burned out on Frozen yet, I say this is worth checking out, and it's not that bad, and it has a lot of likability to it. But see it the way it was meant to be seen, on its own. If you are sick of Frozen and never liked Olaf, then yeah, I think it goes without saying you're not gonna get into this. What do you think? You think it's better on its own? Or that just helps you focus on how even more annoying it is? Check it out and give me your thoughts.